Hi, I'm Dave Roberts and this is Angling Escapades. Hi there and welcome to Angling Escapades on the banks of the River Wye once again. We're out this morning, it's quite early, it's just gone 6 o'clock in the morning. See the sun's slowly coming up and we've actually got a bit of cloud cover today, which is unusual because the last week we've had nothing but bright conditions, and that's what today's about really. I'm just sort of come out really to show that you know, even though conditions aren't great and I'm salmon fishing, you can still sort of make it more interesting. You know, there's nothing worse than coming out fishing when you know you've not got a chance. At the moment, salmon fishing, it's a slim chance. You know, the river you can see behind me is running very low, and that doesn't encourage these salmon to run into our waters. But there's still a few resident fish around, so you know we might encounter one. But what I've done today is I've come with a slightly lighter setup than normal. And what I'm going to do is fish smaller lures to try and induce bites off everything really. You know, trout, there's a few shad in the river which you're not supposed to fish for, or you're not allowed to fish for, but it's a byproduct of spinning. You know, they take the lures. And I'll probably encounter some coarse fish as well. You know, I'm not fishing for coarse fish, but that's, I say, a byproduct of spinning is you get those predatory instincts. And particularly when the weather's bright and sunny, you know, these blades of these lures flashing through the water, it really does, you know, spark them into action. And you know, normally on bright hot sunny days you wouldn't necessarily get, you know, it's not great for fishing, but I find with that bright sunshine and these flashy lures, fishing quickly, you know, chucking it here, there and everywhere, and you know, especially through water like this where I've got behind me nice oxygenated water, shallow water, you can get bites, and it can be a real interesting way of fishing. So that's what the aim is today really, is just to get some bites and see what's around. So my setup today, I'm travelling light. I've got a little sort of, this is a slightly lighter rod than my normal salmon rod. This is a 9-foot rod, slightly softer action. And my reel line, I've got 8-pound main line, so it's quite a bit lighter than I normally use, but I've still got a chance. If I catch a salmon, I've still got a very good chance of getting it out. It just means I'd have to take it a bit careful, but what this does, this allows me to fish with smaller lures. I've got on here, I've got mounted on like a classic Toby lure, you know, so those are Abu Tobis, great lures, great salmon lures, but also that's a smaller one, that's like a 20-gram version, and there's lots of fish will take that. You know, trout will quite happily have a go at that. So I'm going to fish with that to start with. I've got loads of other lures with me. I've got some classic Meps patterns. I don't think you can see that for the price tag, but you know, like bladed Meps. I've got a box full of little trout lures here and stuff, all kinds of little Meps. Lots of different patterns. I can get one of those out for you. That's an old antique one, that is, but you know, that's the sort of thing we're looking at fishing. And in these bright conditions, you know, those blades spinning through the water, they really can spark an attack. You know, they can bring out those predatory instincts of those fish. So all I'm doing, although I'm fishing a lighter line, what I've got is I've got my lure, okay, and then I've got a swivel about 2 feet away. Okay, and then what I've got there, you can quite clearly see that's a thicker piece of line there. That's 15-pound line there. That just gives me that bit of reassurance. If I do hook a pike, you know, that should last the distance. I don't want to fish a wire trace because wire is just too stiff, especially when I go onto these smaller little Meps. I think wire really affects the way they work and the way I want to fish through the water quickly. So that's my rig really: swivel, thicker piece of line, lure. That's my safety zone. And then I've got a lighter line, and what the lighter line does is it enables me to flick these little spinners out, you know, under bushes, into places where I think you know, there could be a fish lying. So that's it basically. I say, if the sun gets up bright as it has the last couple of days, you know, I've got my glasses, and this is a very visual way of fishing. It's very much, you know, you sort of, as soon as the lure hits the water, you're watching it back and you'll see these fish swimming in behind it, attacking it, whatever, and it's a fantastic way, real visual excitement, like. And so I really, it's a way of fishing. I love fishing, you know, I love fishing like this, and it just, you know, just to prove that when conditions aren't perfect, you can still generate bites and make it interesting. So we're gonna have a go. Let's see how we get on. Oh, that was a take. Someone had a go at that then. There we go. What we got here? Look at that. Greedy little chubbler. Look at that. Chub taking a spin of that size. Look. Just goes to show how aggressive chub is. We don't always associate them with being predators, do we, Mom? Eh? Let's put him back. It's absolutely fin perfect, that one. I'll come back and catch him when it's June 16th. Oh well, it's a bite. Keeps it interesting. Little perch. Look at that. What is it, man? Hey, what's that? There we go then, pretty little perch. Out of season, but look at the colours on that. I love these summer colours on these perch. Absolutely gorgeous. Off it goes. Let's see if we can catch another species. What have we got here then? Another chub, is it? Oh no, possibly a perch. Oh, that's a nice fish. That is a lovely summer perch, that is. Stunning summer perch. What an absolute stunning summer perch. That's got to be close to £2, I would have thought. A beautiful fish to catch. So there we go, there's a shad. That's actually an Alice shad, that is. You can tell it's got 2 spots there. The twait, they have like about up to 10 spots along there, but that's what they are. They're a bit of an enigma. They run up the river once a year for a couple of weeks. Look at that pointy tail, it's an incredible tail they are. Part of the herring family apparently, but yeah, these are protected and we're not supposed to fish for them, but they like chasing, you know, they're a predator, they chase fish. And they chase spinners, so yeah, so a bit of sport. And I say only for a certain period of the year they're here. So put this one back. One thing that makes these shad different as well, I don't know whether you can actually pick it up on camera there, but their eyes, they've actually got a membrane over their eyes. So their eyeballs, or you know, their eyeballs aren't actually exposed. They've got this almost like a protective membrane. It's almost like having goggles on. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but incredible creatures. Go on, off you go. Good boy. What is it? There we go. Little brown trailer, eh? Check him once. Well, that's another chub. Slightly bigger one that time. You can see these chub have spawned now. You can see the rounding on the tail. So they're ready for when the new season starts. We can come and catch them on some proper tactics. But for now, they're still very aggressive and taking little lures. What a fabulous chub that is. Good sport. Put you back. So there we go. Well, that's been a nice few hours this morning. We had 4 different species of fish: chub, perch, shad, trout. Seen lots of fish flashing, you know, lots of fish flashing after the lure. I say it's such a visual thing and good fun. But now the sun's getting a bit high in the sky now, so I think what we're going to do is retire for a bit of lunch, and then I'm going to head to the River Lugg. A little bit more intimate, lots more overhanging bushes and little things, and fishing to snags and things like that. So just think it'll be better in this height of day. But yeah, so good morning so far. Okay, so change of scenery now. We're now on the River Lugg. River Lugg, tributary of the River Wye, a place where I spent my childhood basically. And the reason I've come here now is the sun's come right out bright now. It's a bright old afternoon, it's warm as well. So, you know, our best chance of a bite is probably looking for a bit of shade. And you'll see behind me those bushes there. They create their own little shade. Because it's a smaller river, obviously, the shade of those bushes is coming out, you know, right across the river. So it gives you a better chance of a few bites, really. So I've probably got 0 chance of a salmon here. There's not many come up the Lugg. They do come up the Lugg, but not many. But just out for a day's sport, really. So let's see what we can get. There's all kinds of species in here, same as the Wye. So yeah, let's see if we can get a few bites. So I'm just going to try a few, a short stretch of river I'm going to fish, but dropping in little holes and little shady places and see what takes a fancy to our little meps. So in the background now you can just about make out the bridge, and written on it is pig shit. Now anybody who lives around Hereford, who's ever walked the River Lugg will know that's Pig Shit Bridge, famous. And you know, right, since I was a kid that had pig shit written on it, and they've painted the bridge many times since, and someone either always writes pig shit back over it, or it's been marked that many times now that it just seeps through. It'll always be Pig Shit Bridge. There we go. That's our fifth species of the day. Little jack pike. See the red tail there? That's well recovered from spawning now. And he was hungry. What a beautiful little fish. 6 fish of the day. Right, let's get him back. See if we can catch another one. Well, that is the first rainbow trout I've had off this river for many a year. Now, I think these were these were stocked into the river at one stage, not this part of the river, but there was part of the river that was a fly fishing only trout fishery, and they stocked it. I think a lot of the fish moved. I reckon this could well have come from the original stock of rainbow trout. Look at that. Now, unfortunately, if you look, it's got, I don't know what's had a go at it there. That is some serious, maybe otter. That's not bird, that's something with claws or teeth. But it seems to be healthy enough. And I'm going to put it back because I'm chuffed to bits with that fish. What an absolute stunner. That's our 6th species today. Absolutely loving that. Well, that's me about done now. Lovely little couple of hours on the River Lugg to finish off with. Just goes to show really, just a different, slightly different approach. Can generate some bites, and I've had a couple of lovely fish. That little pike. I love catching those little jacks. They're just so wiry, and this time of year they seem to be full of life. And that rainbow trout, absolutely fantastic. And that was one of two of 6 species we caught today. So yeah, it's been an interesting day, and it just goes to show that you can go out and do something a little bit different and have an enjoyable day, especially at times like they are at present, where we can't necessarily get out and do everything we want to do. But it's not, it doesn't require specialist tackle. You could get away with doing it with a float rod or a feeder rod or anything, just some light line. Obviously I've got spinning rods, and obviously I was set up, with a view that I might catch a salmon, and you've got to sort of, tackle up accordingly. But if, there's loads of these little streams and rivers that have got no salmon in, and it's only small fish, you don't need big gear. And I say a little selection of spinners, these little meps, love those. So yeah, it's all been good fun really. So yeah, so we'll I've seen lots of places today as well where I think there'll be chub and barb will come when the season does open. We're only a couple of weeks away now, so looking forward to that. And I imagine the next video we'll do will be something like that, maybe a June the 16th special or something like that. But certainly that's where my mind's at now. The rivers could do with a bit of water, we could do with a bit of rain, but it just goes to show, even with it low and clear, there's still some fun to be had. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit subscribe. Just means that you'll get a confirmation message when we load new videos. Doesn't cost you anything, just hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.